from Timiskaming-Cochrane.
Thank you. On behalf of my NDP colleagues, it's an honour for me to rise today and pay tribute to Michael George Bolan. I never had the opportunity to meet Mr. Bolan, and as I was doing the research on his life, it was obvious that I missed a great opportunity because of all the things he's done in his life. But there's one line that stood out to me in one of the articles I read, and it said he was a self-described petit colon from Cobalt and was proud of having worked in the mines as a young man. A defining characteristic of his political and legal career was his belief in the common good and treating everyone fairly and with respect. I never had the opportunity to meet Mr. Bolan, but I've met many petit colons from Cobalt. And one thing you have to understand about Cobalt, Cobalt went from being nothing in the bush to a mining, it was a boom town. But it was not just boom and bust, it was boom and tragedy. Cobalt had a stock exchange. It had a professional hockey team. But it didn't have water and sewer. And as a result, the people got typhoid fever. And it went from, and then when other mining camps opened, Cobalt busted. And then in the 50s, in the 40s and 50s, it rose again. I'm sure that's when Mr. Bolan was working there. And then it busted again. The people in Cobalt are very proud of where they live. But they don't suffer people with heirs very much because they realize that your life could change in a minute without you having any part of it. And as a result, people from Cobalt, les petits colons, they don't look down on people who are having a rough go because they realize it could be them tomorrow. And I think that was one of the things that helped shape Mr. Bolan's legacy. And I'm sure that Mr. Bolan, having grown up in Cobalt, would have heard the verses of the Cobalt song. And I think on his behalf, I'm going to read a few of them into the record. The Cobalt song. I can't sing, but I can.
Thank God.
You can talk about your cities and all the towns you know, with trolley cars and pavement hard and theaters where you go. You can have your little autos and carriages so fine, but it's hobnail boots and a flannel shirt in Cobalt town for mine. Old Porcupine's a muskeg, Elk Lake's just a fire trap, New Liskeard's just a country town, and Hellebury's just come back. You can buy the whole of Latsford for a nickel or a dime, but it's hobnail boots and a flannel shirt in Cobalt town for mine. We've got the only Lang Street. There's blind pigs everywhere. Old Cobalt Lake's a dirty old place. There's mud all over the square. We've got the darndest railroad that never runs on time, but it's hobnail boots and a flannel shirt in Cobalt town for mine. We bet all our dough on hockey and swore till the air was blue. The Cobalt stocks have emptied our socks and the dividend cut in two. They don't get any of our money in darn old Porcupine, but it's hobnail boots and a flannel shirt in Cobalt town for mine. And the chorus, for we'll sing a little song of Cobalt. If you don't live there, it's your fault. Oh, you Cobalt, where the big gin rickeys flow, where all the silver comes from, you'll live a life and then some. Oh, you Cobalt, you're the best old town I know. Michael Bolan, lawyer, a minor lawyer, member of Provincial Parliament, Ontario Supreme Court Justice, petit colon to Cobalt. You lived a life and then some, and for that we are all eternally grateful.